Today we're talking about ammo selection for the Tikka T3X and 7M M08. What should you choose and why? Stick around, we'll get right to it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about different ammunition selection for your new build. And ours in particular is the Tikka T3 chambered in 7M M08. So first things first, every gun shoots ammunition differently. You may have a buddy or a relative who has the same gun, maybe a different brand, shoots great groups with a certain type of ammunition. That may not work in your particular application, even though they're the same caliber or the same chambering. Each gun is unique and will shoot ammunition differently. Some guns are more forgiving and they shoot a wide variety of ammunition well, and some guns are extremely picky. So in order to find out what gun or what ammunition your gun shoots better or best, it's best to figure out what's your overall goal with the gun. And in our case, it's going to be a deer hunting rifle. And being I'm in the upper Midwest, my shots are usually within 300 yards. So a heavy hitting but flat shooting bullet. And generally, I'm shooting at whitetails. We don't have elk. Well, we do have elk in Wisconsin, but I'm not using this gun to take elk. It'll be whitetails and smaller. So you want to select a grain weight to go with, and you're gonna find that 130 grain to 160 grain is about the sweet spot for whitetails. So that's where you're gonna start. You're gonna look for bullet construction. You try to avoid match style ammunition. The construction of the bullet itself is different. It doesn't perform as well as something that's made for penetrating hide, making a big wound channel, like a hunting bullet would be. So keep that in mind. So grain weight, making sure that it's for a hunting application and not match ammunition. Just saying avoid that. And availability. So in my area, my really local area, there's not a wide variety of selection when it comes to like your normal or Nosler ammunition. You're basically stuck with Winchester or Hornady. I like Hornady stuff. I know people have their own thoughts on that, but I found two different brands or two different grain weights of Hornady ammunition, and also two different styles. So this one has the SST bullet in 139 grain, and this one is I believe it's the ELDX. Yep, 150 grain ELDX and Precision Hunter. So Hornady American Whitetail, cost-effective side. Find this pretty much everywhere for relatively cheap, and it goes on sale for $20-25, so it's probably around $27 a box. I have a tag on here yet. Otherwise, you get the Hornady Precision Hunter. It's a little more expensive, $40-50 for this box. Again, it's the ELDX, which is really close to the ELDM, which is a match bullet, but this is the X made for hunting, so it can expand better. So, and I also have a plethora of hand loads that I'm going to try. Now, if it were me, I would get at least 2 boxes of factory ammunition if you're not a reloader. 2 is the minimum, preferably 3. And again, you can get advice from whoever else, but your gun's going to shoot what it likes the best. So 139, I don't care, 129, 150, I don't even know if they go higher than 150 in the 7M M08, but this is what we're going to try. And I got some hand loads over here. They're using the same bullet as this American Whitetail, Hornady American Whitetail. It's the 139 grain SST. I'm a huge fan of the 130 to 140 grain on whitetails. I shoot a lot of 270s. 270 loves the 130 grain. It's killed lots of bucks with it, lots of animals. So 139 grain out of a slightly larger bore I think should perform very well. So that's what we're gonna go with. So first up I got the American Whitetail in 139 grain SST. It says muzzle velocity at 2840. I'm gonna put this stuff on a chronograph. We're gonna do some group testing. So I made up a few targets here. See if I can get this without destroying it. This isn't really a load development, but it's more of just an accuracy test for the factory ammunition. And then I'll do the same thing for the 150 grain Precision Hunter. Sorry, holding it the wrong way. This says a muzzle velocity of 2,770 feet per second. So with 139 grain hand loads, it should be right around what this box is posting at 2840. So that's my goal, be around 2,800 feet per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different loadings here. We're gonna start out, I'm not gonna give the grain weight, but I'm using a very common powder, Accurate 4350. It's not the H4350. Again, it's a supply and demand thing. At the time, I could not find H4350. I'm sure you can get it now, but I found plenty of Accurate 4350 and it seems to work okay. The other thing I did with these hand loads is I took a dummy round. It's already been fired, so it's just a spent round, and it fits my chamber perfectly because I shot it out of this gun. The case swelled up and kind of took the dimensional form of the chamber. I then put a bullet in there and stretched it out as far as I could. And what that does, that tells me how far out I can stick out this bullet out of the reloads. And then I back that off about 20 thousandths off the lands. I'm not jamming them into the lands. The other thing I got to take into consideration is fitting this inside of a magazine. This doesn't have the slightly larger, I think it's called the M+, like the Creedmoor has. So the Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, they make a magazine special for that. It's a little bit longer, and that's because they usually have longer bullets sticking out of that smaller case. This one doesn't, so I'm very tight on fitting that in the magazine, we'll just say. But anyway, that's what I did. I'm gonna do some test loads, see how these shoot compared to factory ammunition, and both different grain weights. So yeah. What else? So hopefully when we get out to the range, I'll do a bore sight quick. We'll fire off a couple of these factory rounds for bore sighting, and to do a couple following shots out of that gun because we just cleaned it. And yeah, we'll document everything. We'll do a group size test. We'll get the chronograph out. Hopefully we can get some good numbers for velocity to see how it compares to the box. Now this is a 20.5 inch barrel, 1 9.5 twist. It doesn't say what barrel they use, but generally when they come up with these velocities, it's out of a pretty long barrel, 24 inch barrel usually. Sometimes I see 25, 26 inch barrels when they're doing these tests. I don't know if this one says, no. Does not say what the test barrel was, but I don't expect to hit these velocities. It'd be awesome if we did, but it's highly unlikely. So for the hand loads, again, we'll do the same velocity test. We'll look at standard deviation and extreme spreads. And I've created a little worksheet here where I have my grain weight that I'm testing. We'll do the velocity, get the average, extreme spread, the standard deviation, and like I said, I'll record the group size. So yeah, just kind of testing everything, and we'll see where it goes from there. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stick around for the next one when we head out to the range, and until then, we'll catch you guys later.